we all agree we haven't solved it. The Talmud describes this, a Talmudic passage that's quoted by many of the sources, Maseches Tanis, in the third parak, talks about Abba Umana. One of the Amoraim, one of the Talmudic scholars, was a bloodletter. As you know, bloodletting was very common in medieval times and before. And that was his practice. So it describes what he used to do and how some other Amoraim were envious of him because apparently he used to receive from God, from heaven, a shalom aleichem, a welcome, a good day, every single day of his life. And they didn't know what was so great about this practitioner of bloodletting. So it describes one of the things that he had set up in his office of bloodletting was v'islei duchta tzaniyad de shadi bei pshiti de shokel. That he had outside of his office, he had a designated private area of some kind of area in a box where people would drop coins in on their way out after the procedure was performed. So de islay shadibe, de lesle lo. Vesle lo michsev, that whoever had money to pay would exit and drop the coins and the payment in. Whoever didn't, and no one would know who did and who didn't, and no one would be embarrassed. That's a system of, in a sense, it's a system of trust. It's a system where a person, as an individual, is able to relate to one's patients. It doesn't solve the problems of a hospital and a large-scale healthcare system in the United States, which wasn't really envisioned at that time. I think the concept of the communal addressing of the problem works well within private sector. It's difficult to apply that completely, I believe, even without my MBA from Wharton. I think it's difficult to apply that to a healthcare system as large as in the United States with institutions of hospitals where a lot of the care is provided. I think the notion, which we didn't touch on, of kind of decentralizing health care from the hospitals to outpatient care is designed to maybe address this issue from that perspective, to try to kind of diversify and to try to spread the cost and diminish the cost and bring it back to a more communal setting, which is what the sources that we quoted before really feel is the ideal.
Just one comment before we finish. Regarding the Canadian or the British system, you have a problem, at least the ethical and moral problems of rationing medical care. So then who gets it, who doesn't get it, what age, when do you stop? There have been plenty of cases where Canadians have come to the United States, paid for with their own money, because otherwise they would have to wait 3 months to 6 months or a year to have that whatever procedure or operation they need to do. So that's, no system is perfect, as Dr. Jacobs said. We try our best, but I like this system of payment to doctors, where we drop. I think it would work very wonderful nowadays, where patients for a $5 copay, they run out before the secretary can catch them. So I don't know if it will work out very well. But interestingly enough, if you decentralize healthcare, if you will, and you make it community-based, that's a new understanding of President Bush's faith-based initiative, I think. So I don't know if we could go that way. So that's a clear understanding of faith-based initiative. All right, thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Dr. Jacobs. Thank you, Dr. Weiss. Have a good evening.